Good morning, students. Topic of our today's online classes is Gauss's theorem. So first of all, let us learn what is the use or advantage of Gauss's theorem. So Gauss's theorem is used to find electric field. It is used to find electric field. To find electric field, and electric field is required to know the force acting on the charge. Since force is equal to Q into E. अब आप यहाँ ये जानना चाहिएगा कि इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड तो हम कूलम्स लॉ से भी निकालते हैं, और लेकिन कूलम्स लॉ से आप तब निकालते हैं जब ये माते पॉइंट चार्ज के लिए हो, तो आप यहाँ पर इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड निकालते हैं या फोर्स भी निकाल सकते हैं। और लेकिन यदि चार्ज का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एक लाइन के अलॉन्ग हो या फिर एक एरिया के अलॉन्ग चार्ज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो या फिर वॉल्यूम के क्रॉस हो, तो ऐसे केस में कूलम्स लॉ से इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड निकालना डिफ़िकल्ट होता है और टाइम टेकिंग होता है। यदि आप प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन भी यूज़ करते हैं कूलम्स लॉ के साथ साथ, तो भी ये ज़्यादा डिफ़िकल्ट होता है। लेकिन हम अगर गॉसेस थ्योरम से ये काम करते हैं तो बड़ा आसानी होता है। इसलिए हम लोग ये जान लें कि इन मेनी केसेस वेयर कैलकुलेशंस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड यूजिंग कूलम्स लॉ along with principle of superpositions is difficult, the same can be done with Gauss's theorem with great ease. Here some terms are required to be learned. First one is area vector. So what is area vector? Sometimes we need to consider area as a vector. In that cases, the directions of area vector is considered perpendicularly outward. For example, if we have to consider this area element as a vector, its direction is perpendicularly outward. You may represent the magnitude by ds and directions by a unit vector n cap, which is perpendicularly outward. So if the area element is like this, then in this case the direction is perpendicularly outward along these directions. Okay, suppose it is like this. Here the directions of area vector is perpendicularly outward. So if we consider this surface area as a vector, this vector will be along this direction. But if you consider this cross-sectional area as a vector, its direction will be along the perpendicular drawn on this area outward. In this way you learn the directions of area elements or area vectors. It is perpendicularly outward. Now let us learn what is electric flux. So electric flux the first definition is mathematical, and it is more useful. That electric flux is defined as the dot product of electric field and area vector, or it is E ds cos theta. Suppose electric field is along this direction and we have considered this area element, its direction is perpendicular outward along this. This is the angle between the area vector and the electric field. So first definition is, it is defined as the dot product of electric field and area vector. You may define flux as surface integral of electric field. And there is another definition, that electric flux through an area may be defined as the number of electric field lines passing through the surface perpendicularly. So these are the three definitions of electric flux. But in mathematical calculation, this is more applied. With the help of this expression, you can also say the unit and dimensions of the electric flux. Let us learn here the unit of electric flux. Here, since electric flux is E ds cos theta has numerical value, so the unit of electric flux will be the unit of electric field, that is Newton by Coulomb, and the unit of area is meter square. So the unit of electric flux is SI unit is Newton by Coulomb into meter square. And here, since electric field is F by Q, so its unit is SI unit is Newton by Coulomb. Also, later on we learn a relation that electric field is minus dV by dr. If we apply this formula, then its units will be, for electric field it is volt by meter, and for area vector it is meter square. So voltmeter is also the unit of electric flux. Now let us learn Gauss's theorem. So Gauss's theorem states that electric flux passing through a closed surface, Gauss's theorem, it states that electric flux through a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the Gauss surface, enclosed by the closed surface, that is flux is equal to 1 by epsilon naught q. Now let us prove it. In order to prove the Gauss's theorem, we considered a point charge situated at the center of a spherical cell. This spherical cell can be considered as a Gaussian surface. Let the radius be r and the magnitude of the charge bq. So if we consider an element of the spherical cell like this, the shaded parts, its directions will be perpendicularly outward. And as we know that electric field is the force acting on unit positive charge, so if a positive charge is considered here, this positive charge exert a force on the unit positive charge along this direction. It means electric field is also along the same directions. Now since d phi is equal to E dot ds, therefore total flux will be equal to surface integral of the electric field for the entire Gaussian surface, as we see that the angle between the electric field and area vector is 0 degree, so it becomes equal to E ds cos 0 degree. Since from the dot product we know that A dot B vector is equal to AB cos theta, AB cos theta. So here it is equal to E ds, and in place of theta, as it is 0, so it is cos 0. Now it becomes equal to E ds. Here we know from the Coulomb's law that electric field due to a point charge at a distance r, it means at this point, will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into ds. Now it becomes equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square, or integral stands for ds only. So as we know that the surface area of the sphere is equal to 4 pi r square, so integral of ds will be equal to total surface area, that is 4 pi r square, and it becomes equal to 4 pi will be cancelled by this, and r square is also cancelled here, so it becomes equal to 1 by epsilon naught into q. Hence proved. In this way you learned the proof of Gauss's theorem in a very simple way, and I think that all of you can write the statement in long ways with the help of book. So I am only discussing the part which is required for better understanding. Now we learned how to derive Coulomb's law using Gauss's theorem. Here we have proved Gauss's theorem with the help of Coulomb's law. This expression is obtained from Coulomb's law. Now using Gauss's theorem, that is flux is equal to 1 by epsilon naught q, we deduce Coulomb's law. Okay, so to deduce Coulomb's law, using Gauss's theorem. So let us consider 2-point charge situated at a distance r. We have to deduce Coulomb's law using Gauss's theorem. It means with the help of this formula, we have to prove F is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. So in order to apply the Gauss's theorem, we considered a Gaussian surface. A Gaussian surface is any closed surface enclosing a charge on the surface of which electric field is same at every point. So the concept of Gaussian surface is required in order to apply the Gauss's theorem. So here the charge Q1 is at the center of the spherical shell, and Q2 is at the surface. Let us consider an area element. Its direction is electric field is along this direction, so area vector is also along the same directions. Now from the Gauss's theorem, we know that flux is equal to 1 by epsilon naught the charge enclosed Q1. Okay, but it is according to Gauss's theorem. Now according to definitions of electric flux, d phi is equal to E dot ds. Therefore total flux will be equal to integral of E dot ds. Now since it becomes equal to E ds cos 0, as electric field is constant on every point of the Gaussian surface. So as electric field is constant at each and every point, integral is only for ds, and so it becomes equal to E, and integral of ds is 4 pi r square. From 1 and 2, here the value of the flux is this. The value of the flux is calculated using the definitions, and this is the value of the flux using Gauss theorem. So equating 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, we see that E into 4 pi r square is equal to 1 by epsilon naught Q1. So E becomes equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 by r square. Since force is equal to Q into E, and here Q is equal to Q2 and E is Z, which is equal to Q2, and E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 by r square. In this way, the required expression becomes equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square. So in this classes we learn what is area vector, advantage or uses of Gauss's theorem, then electric flux, proof of the Gauss's theorem, and thereafter to deduce Coulomb's law using Gauss's theorem. In next video we learn application of the Gauss's theorem, that is to find electric field in different cases. Thank you. Good day.